In an effort to revive the Plains line, today I'll be reviewing the featured vehicles from 2016 Plains Case D. Now lately, the Plains line has been very slow. There hasn't been many new releases since December, and the only ones that I've gotten lately are Tango, Yokla, and Windlifter with sunglasses. And if you'd like to see my reviews of those, the links will be down in the description below. Now, despite this drought in the line, there are actually quite a few new planes on eBay from Chinese sellers, such as Nick Lupin Lopez, Elizabeth the Seaplane, and Wayne Nanza. So hopefully, within the next few weeks, these planes will start being released, and the Plains line will be back to where it was around a year ago, because I remember just about a year ago, the Plains line was picking up with Harvey, Packrat, then we got to Winnie, and then in December, when these were released, it kind of stopped. There was Zed Custard, Brody, and Firebird, along with this case. Then there were a few duplicate cases after that, and here we are today. Probably in the stores you may be able to find the Little King case, but that's about it. The case with Yokla and Tango still has not hit stores. Same with Windlifter with sunglasses. So today I'll be reviewing a rather old case. I got these for Christmas but never got around to reviewing them. These came out around December, but I still have never seen a Roybal in the store. I've seen all the other ones though at Walmart and a few at Target as well. So let's start the review by checking out the package of each of them. So here we have Roybal, who I can already tell will be my favorite from the case. He's in the U.S.S. Flysenhower series, and he does have a choking hazard warning because he does come with quite a few accessories, which makes sense because you're just getting the pity. On the back, we can see Delta, who surprisingly has become very rare. Last time I checked eBay, he goes for around $35. No clue how he became that rare, but it is what it is. We can also see Falco, Bravo, and Jolly Ranch's Dusty. The description for the series reads, "The U.S.S. Flysenhower is home to the Jolly Ranchers, a squadron of brave fighter planes and crew members." And we can see a nice picture of a pity crew member along with a bunch of jets in the background. Now let's move on to my second favorite in the case, Bessie C. Flywell. She's in the Grand Fusel Lodge series. I love the art for her, by the way. It looks great. On the back, we can see Cad Spinner, Pulaski, and Ted Yale. Ted Yale was released in 2016 Plains Case B, but for some reason, Pulaski and Cad Spinner still have yet to be released in this series. They've both been previously released, but not in this series. The description for the series reads, "Grand Fusel Lodge has been welcoming visitors to Piston Peak National Park for years. Now a wildfire threatens the lodge on the night of its grand reopening." And we can see a nice picture of Cad Spinner, Andre, one of the bellboys, and a muddy truck. I believe he does have a name, but I don't remember off the top of my head. Let's move on to Rosco. Now, as you can see, he is on Canadian card because it doesn't say what series he's in. It just shows the logo. So I will be keeping this one in the package. I already have one loose to review. And since it is international packaging, it doesn't show the description either. It just says Rosco. But if you would like to see the description of this series, you can either check out my review of Vasquez or Colin Calling. I read it off in those videos. Another interesting thing to note is that they call these vehicles by codes DLL91 and DLT16, of course, because they're on international packaging. And the image for this series is just a nice picture of Roper. Now let's move on to the two least favorites of this case, in my opinion. Here is Piston number 12, one of the last Nebraska Trial racers to be released. On the back, we can see Tysonitis number 9, Secker number 4, Packrat number 10, and Firebird number 16. I've already reviewed all of these, and they've all been released before. The description for the series reads, "At the Nebraska Trials, Dusty and his fellow racers have one last chance to qualify for the Wings Around the Globe Rally." And we can see a determined picture of Dusty Crop Hopper. Now, there is one more plane in this case that I will be reviewing, but I don't have him in the package because I bought him probably about a year ago off eBay. That is Jigsaw number 36, and I will be reviewing him like I said, but I just don't have him in the package. But here's the last one I do have in the package. Refurbished Mayday, just a little variation of a car. He's in the Cornfest series. On the back, we can see Windy Wheel Chocks, Fire Dusty, and Brody. I still need to review Brody. I have him, but I just haven't gotten around to review him yet. The description for the series reads, Cornfest is the can't-miss event of the season in Prop Wash Junction, with appearances by Fire Dusty and his Piston Peak friends. The festival will be extra special this year. And we can see a picture of Mayday, Sparky, Chug, and Dusty. So a pretty nice group shot there. And that is all for the planes in the packaging. Now I'll be right back with all of them opened up. Check this out. Fresh out of the package and already has a huge nasty chip right there. Come on, Mattel. What's up with your quality control? Is this how you get people to buy more? Because I'm probably gonna have to buy a replacement now, but whatever. It is what it is. Let's get on with the review here of Refurbished Mayday. Now, if you don't remember, this guy appeared at the very end of the second Planes movie, Planes Fire and Rescue. He essentially got a makeover from his original design shown at the beginning of the movie because he wasn't meeting the requirements to be a fire truck. So as we can see, he doesn't have glasses anymore. I guess he was given contacts. He also now has shiny red paint versus the matte finish on the older version. Also, the spotlight on the left side here was completely removed, and the only other difference I can see from the front here is that the silver hood ornament has been changed to gold. Now on the top here, his siren was completely upgraded to a more modern version. You can see a bunch of lights there versus just the single bubble light right there. Also, the hose has been changed as well, again to a more modern and efficient design there. Mattel made this as like a soft rubber so you can move it around a little bit. Very, very nice. There's also another light there, I would assume. Not entirely sure what it is. I'm not an expert on fire trucks. And here's the hose on the original one. As you can see, much more primitive design right there. The water tanks also have been changed. Instead of having a more cylinder design, he now has like a prism design. There used to be a red cap on top right there, and it was very, very dirty before, but now completely clean. I love it. Very, very nice. Both are nice because I like the dirt detailing on the older version, but the new version is very nice as well. These two kind of remind me of Kabuto and Strip Kabuto because the differences between them are so drastic. On the back here, we can see PJFD, which stands for Prop Wash Junction Fire Department. It also says keep back 50 feet. And on the older version here, the hook line is a lot more rusted and dirty, whereas on the new version, it's obviously clean and brand new. The bell has also been modified a bit. The older version is a little bit stiffer and doesn't move around as much as the new version. The structure of the bell has also been changed a little bit. On the side here, it still says Prop Wash Junction Fire Crash Rescue. I wouldn't expect that to change anyway, but the control panel has been given now a silver interface rather than the sloppy design on the old one there. One more detail that I would like to mention is that instead of having all this dirt on the side, he got a car wash and now has a nice clean finish. And the rims have been modified to a more modern design as well. Now for anyone who's interested in the base, here it is. The back portion is held together with a screw because it is plastic going from here back. The front cab is metal. They do this a lot with these types of vehicles such as Z Custard and Mater. Unfortunately, there's no way around it. They're trying to save money because it's such a big vehicle. Up next is Jigsaw number 36. Like I said in the beginning of the video, I got this guy around a year ago from China, so that's why I didn't show him in the package. Now, he is one of many Corsair planes that appeared in Skipper's flashback scene. They already released Jigsaw number 29, and they're planning on releasing a bunch more, but those won't be called Jigsaw. They'll actually have their own unique names. Now let's check out the decals on number 36 here. He obviously has the number right front and center. There's a Jolly Wrenches logo toward the front, a Navy emblem on the wing, and toward the back. We can also see VF-17, which is the code that correlates for all of the Jolly Wrenches planes. Underneath, there's another Navy emblem, and the hull, which is the connector to other playsets. So that's really all for Jigsaw number 36 himself. Here he is compared to Jigsaw number 29. Let me know which one's your favorite. I definitely prefer number 29 because his expression's a lot more determined and he has a few more decals like this white design in front of the eyes there and just looks nicer in my opinion. Now here's Skipper as well. He's quite a bit different but still has quite a few of the same decals like the Jolly Wrenches logo and the Navy emblems, but surprisingly the Navy emblems on all three of these are different. This one has a red outline, this one doesn't really have much of an outline at all, and it's pretty small. The one on number 29 here is actually pretty big, but does not have a red outline. So I just find it kind of cool that they changed up the Navy emblem on all three of these planes. Here we have Piston number 12, one of the Nebraska Trials racers, and I absolutely love his color combination. It's not very often that you see a greenish turquoise, yellow, and black mix, but it looks great on him. I also really do like his expression, very, very determined. And now his plane model is actually one of the lesser used ones. It's only been used twice before on Gunnar Viking and Arturo. My favorite out of these three is definitely Piston, but Gunnar Viking is also pretty cool. Now, as you can see on the side of Piston, he does have his name spelled out. It gets smaller as it goes along. And throughout his body, he has a bunch of scattered sponsors. This one up front is Aeroflex. The one behind the eyes here, I believe, reads Aeroflow. And we have quite a few of them back around the tail wing right here. That one is too small to read, but it's on a lot of the racers. This one right here, I believe, says New Volt. It's very, very small though. And the one that's directly below the wing right here reads Fudd Rudders. And his code is IC22406L. And that really is all for Piston. He obviously has his number 12 written a few times on his body. And underneath, there's the connector that I was talking about on Jigsaw number 36, where you can connect this plane to playsets that were released for the planes line. And another weird thing about him is that he's got this like black piece of plastic. I don't really know how to describe it, but it sticks out of the metal there. I assume it's some part of the plane, but please let me know what that is if you are aware. It's on all three of these planes models here, Gunnar, Arturo, and Piston now. But I really do like this model. I'm glad that it hasn't been used that much because I feel like it's nice to kind of keep it limited to a few very, very nice planes. And I just love the look of the grille there in the front. Looks great. Does Rosco here remind you of anyone? He definitely should because he's very similar to Kathy Copter, who was released in the Cars line a few times. Both are obviously red Rsn Choppers, but I personally prefer Roscoe's design a little bit more. As you can see on the side here, he has the RSN Racing Sports Network decal. And in the front, he has his microphone, two speakers on either side, and underneath a spotlight so he can shine the light if it's in the dark. And technically, he's a different model from Kathy Copter because he has that connector right there, and she does not. But that's basically all for Rosco. Another question for you guys is, what is your favorite Rsn Chopper. So far we have Rosco, Kathy Copter, Ron Hover, and Vasquez. Although Vasquez doesn't really seem like he's an Rsn Chopper. It doesn't say on the side like it does with these three. So maybe Mattel made a mistake there. But maybe he's still associated with Rsn in some way. And of course we have Colin the Blimp as well. I like him the most out of all of these. But if we're just talking choppers, I'll go with Rosco. Now let's get into the good stuff. Here is Bessie C. Flywell. She appeared evacuating the Grand Fusel Lodge in the second Planes movie, and since she is an older plane, she had a little bit of trouble starting up, and so another plane tried to cut in front of her in the line, but Pulaski was sure to stop him, and I believe that plane's name is Rudy, and he should be released in the next few months, or at least I hope he'll be released. And now let's get on with the review here of Bessie. I can't say it enough how much I like this plane. She's not my favorite in the case Roybal is, but in terms of planes alone made by Mattel, she is definitely one of my all-time favorites. So as you can see, she is a biplane, meaning that she has two fixed wing shafts, one here and one below. Her propeller spins pretty nicely as well. From the front here, we can see her brown rim glasses and nice looking expression. It's kind of hard to see on the camera here, but she does have dirt detailing going up the side, which makes sense for an older plane. I also like this line pattern going across her side. It's on the wheel covers as well. I don't really know how to describe this hat she has. It's kind of like a ribbon hat, but I'm not entirely sure. A nice detail nonetheless. Also, the chain that is supposed to be holding her glasses on is also pretty nice. The code on her tail wing reads N728LH. And now my favorite thing about her is the tennis ball back wheel here. It's supposed to resemble an older person's cane that has tennis balls as the legs. Kind of like in Up. If you guys have seen that movie, the main character Carl has a cane that has tennis balls for the legs, so maybe it's supposed to be an allusion to that, but very, very, very cool. The only bad thing about Bessie is the chip, like I mentioned earlier, but overall, great plane. I'll be buying another one so I can get a perfect one. I hate chips, especially that nasty one right there. Before we move on to Roybal, here are a few other biplanes for comparison. Now at first, Lead Bomb looks to be the same model as Bessie, but if you look closer, they have two different engines, and Lead Bomb is a lot longer in the back, as you can see. And here we have Firebird, the racer. Obviously, two completely different designs, but just for comparison. In fact, they're both females. Very, very cool. And here we have Barney Storm, another one of my favorite biplanes. They are also two different models, so it's nice that they've been keeping all the biplanes different models so far, except for Firebird and Sunwing, who's the Chinese racer. Those are the only ones that are the same. I'm really glad Roybal comes with these two accessories, because if he didn't, you'd be paying $6 for just the pity. But the pity itself is pretty amazing on its own though. And if you guys don't remember Roybal from the movie, he appeared on the U.S.S. Flysenhower deck, helping bring in Dusty Crophopper after Bravo and Echo found him lost in airspace. Now Roybal really is the boss on deck. He has those cool looking shades that remind me of windlifters. LSO on the side, which stands for Landing Signal Officer. And he does have a tow hitch in the back, although I have absolutely no clue what he'd be towing around. Mattel hasn't released anything that would attach to his hook. It'd be cool if they did in the future, but I highly doubt that. It's just not what Mattel tends to do. On the bottom here, we can just see a bunch of codes and date stamps there. And he is held together with a screw, so you can easily take this guy apart. And I think Roybal has some of the longest forks on any pity Mattel has released. I mean, look at those. For comparison, here we have Guido, and yeah, Roybal is a lot bigger, I know. So it's not even worth comparing Guido to him. And I feel like the Plains pities are always the largest. I have no idea why, but the two cars pitties I have here, which was Guido, and here is the RPM pitty, you know, the RPM pitty is about the same in height as Roybal, but in length here, not even close. So let's move on to a few plains pitties here. Probably the most similar pitty that Mattel has released to Roybal is Roper, but then again, very, very different. Look at the lengths of the forks compared to Roybal. Wow. I have to say though, Mattel has been changing up with the plains pitties lately. You know, we've gotten Roybal here, we've gotten Roper, and not to mention all of the racers pitties like this one here for Ripslinger. Very, very different. And even Aishani's pitty is a completely different model as well. We also have Dottie's, so all the pitties for the plains line, you know, quite a variety, whereas the Mattel ones for the cars line, they're pretty much the same. We just have the tall one, the short one, and the wide one. But now let's move on to the two accessories here for Roybal. I'm not really sure what this one is, probably some sort of control panel, but I'll just show you guys the details up close. Very, very nice. I think that's painted on there. I don't believe it's a sticker, but I really do like it. Very nice and shiny. The only problem with this one is that it's kind of hard to stand up on its own, you know, because the weight wants to fall over, so you have to get perfectly balanced on the two legs there. Now, I love this thing, man. This telephone's awesome. So, as you can see, it's kind of attached to that thing up there, so you can just remove it. And it does move around a little bit, and when you want to put it back up there, just make sure that it's attached to that one bar right there. See, that's why there's a divot in the phone there, so it can attach to that bar up there. And again, I'll just zoom in here so you can see all the details. Very, very nice indeed. I don't think there's any writing on it, but just amazing. Mattel, you did a great job with Roybal here. Very, very well done. Now, I remember these accessories from the movies, and I will be showing screenshots of them, so probably refresh your guys' memory as well. So that really is all for Roybal. If you want to pretend like he's calling somebody, you just take the phone off and kind of put it in Roybal's forks there, and there you go. He's got the phone in his face, but that's really only the way you can do it there. But that is all for Roybal here, and let's flash into the conclusion. So in the comment section below, let me know how you rank these guys from favorite to least favorite. I think mine goes Roybal, Bessie C Flywell, then Piston number 12, then Roscoe, Mayday, and Jigsaw. At first, I thought Roscoe would be cooler than Piston, but no way. The color on Piston here just totally outdoes Roscoe. So that is all for my review of 2016 Plains Case D. I hope you guys are having a great day today, and I'll see you guys all tomorrow for a suggestion video. See you guys then. Bye now.